Hey, Skip, Slusher, and Cooper. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that Cooper was a little overexposed and mentally shut down. So in his progress, we've been working on not asking too much of him, short little periods of walking, trotting, loping, cantering, whatever, and not doing a lot of work. So that has helped with that anticipation concern that he used to really get upset if you were asking too much, more than he thought he should be asked. So he would throw fits and jump sideways and, but now we're past most of that. But there's a point at which when I ask for him to depart, he really should depart. He really needs to just leave. And he fades in and out of this a little bit. Today he's been pretty sticky, so we'll talk about how to get a departure. And we're going to use the escalating pressure going from level 2 and then move it to a 3. And if I don't get what I ask at 3, I'm going to go to 8. And because the horses are sequential, they want to avoid 8. They'll have to hit 8 once or twice to know they don't want to go there. And then it'll start working off lower levels. And eventually you just want it to be a level of a 2, like a little ask, and he willingly goes. So if I'm going to ask him to leave, and here's my 2, a little bit of calf pressure, and that's it. So roll the front of my sit bones, add a little calf, pretty sticky. So I'm going to roll the front of my sit bones, add my calf, and if he doesn't move then, I'm going to give him a little more aggressive bump. So there's that, and then I'm trying to trot. So that's not much of a trot. So we're going to go to 8 this time. Here's my 2, nothing. Here's my 3, and we're going to go. There's 8. And that was not really hard, just quick and annoying versus a big wham. I just really he's okay. He's going to up his game. So here's my 2. Here's my 3. No, here's my 8. And I bet you this time we get a 2 or a 3. So here's my 2. There's a 2. So he picked it up after 2 times of having to go to 8. He went, I don't like 8. I really don't. Let's not do 8. So he's like, well, 2's pretty easy. 3, let's just avoid the whole thing, and I'm going to work off 2. We'll just go there. And you can see he's not upset. There's a big sigh. We're just negotiating our deal on how much pressure it's going to take to get him to trot. It's kind of like a real estate deal or something. I'm going to offer you this. No, I'm not going to take that. And then eventually they go, yeah, that works. So here's my sit bone, 2, calf, and I didn't really get to 3, and off he went. And you notice I'm not taking off very long. I mean, I just want him to depart when I ask. So sit bone, calf, there's my 2. He's making me go to 3 this time. And I'll bet you we get just 2. Sit bones, calf, and they're off 2. So that is kind of how you add in some willingness on a departure. And you can really check in, like we've done a video on it, check in where your horse is by how they depart for a canter. He's a little sticky today, so he's back to, you can tell he's back to a little bit of anxiety about the workload ahead. He started to move off lower pressure because 1, we only went 20 feet and stopped. So he thought, I can handle that. And 2, he wanted to avoid that higher pressure in the ass. So he didn't want to climb to 8. He wanted to work off lower levels. So just a few thoughts on how to encourage a kind of reluctant, lazy horse to not go. Now, of course, check their physical state, a bunch of, their body should be ready to go. They should not be injured or hurt. Rule that out first. So always go to check the medical side of things before you start upping your ante on anything. But anyway, that's a quick check.